ego, curse, and the demonic possession, and the whole link between traumas, emotions, from where all the harm is coming from on earth today, the curse who create this whole demonic possession of all this confusion combined. So we talked a lot about, debated a lot this subject on Facebook, Telegram, and other confrontations. So we will go deeper a little bit into that whole subject. Maybe a subject that is more related to war upon life than right to life, but also is an important part of how to deal with situations with authorities or on legal questions. So social engineering is something going on for a long time and just got perfected over time through TV, politics, networks, social medias, religions, and all kinds of programs. Now better known as maybe MK Ultra, meaning Menschen control, human control, not mental control as we previously said. But this is where the whole confusion take part, or the deception take part. In order to get people's submission, we need to deceive them, but only through their own free will. So all manipulation happen because the ego let it happen. So the ego is the deceiver program of our free will, creating harm by our own doing, thinking, feeling, and talking. The curse is the burden from this deception where we are holding on our shoulder and accumulate this with every ego-driven behavior. Demonic possession occurs when people are in the ego program and defend their fragile bubble, what makes narcissism psychopathic up to satanic rituals sacrificed, what we already exposed many times on this channel. So to comprehend the ego better, it is the first step of alter ego. It creates like a copy of who we really are through the name, through different rituals like birth certificate, birth date, the name, the land, and all these stigmas that is coming or get hidden on us. This is what this creates, the alter ego, from where more than one personality or character can be created, but character is exactly this. This is the alter ego. This is not who we are. A character is when we take some character from someone. So everything starts already before birth. It is the intention to even create or give life, or include complete ignorance or complete absence of life, then we already create a kind of burden on the child even before pregnancy. Through the whole pregnancy part of all the sounds, all the intentions, all the vibes that is going around, the child will already absorb and will already get a lack of something, because we become what we get. Yeah. So this whole genetic this genetic generation transmitted bullshit, this is of course not what is going on. It is really already in the intention to create life, or just in the ignorance or in the ego-driven side to create life. But a child, if we don't let discover the child life in itself, and we will explain everything, then we take already away his own observing, his own way of comprehending things. Yeah, so we will get fill it up with a lot of bullshit in the head, how this whole thing is going. And that's the same even for just, my child, or like giving this ego-driven love, that possessing love, that is not far from hate. Yeah, it's just a switch, but this is exactly the same um, vibe or intention. Another thing is that usually children were just close to their mother and could feel the vibe, the body, what is going on. Today they just get pushed in plastic wagons and are far away, and parents wondering why the children are crying. But this is how children should discover life. Yeah, so they should have their own experience, how how things are working out in life. But instead, we put them into a box and give them all the instruction how to think, what to think, and so on. So traumas also are created through loss. Yeah, if people get lost and everybody is sad around, then the children will also get the whole sadness. This is the fear of death that is transmitted from generation to generation, create a huge absence of life, or a brutal accident, and nobody really knew why things are happen, but there is always something happen before the accident, and this is also what people don't comprehend, that the curse is already coming. When we get nervous, emotional, or distracted, or this lack of responsibility or trauma will create more harm. This is an accumulation of things that is just going on and on. Of course, the whole violence will teach children be violent, and this is what creates again this absence of what creates the traumatism. Of course, that's today is always focalized on girls, but boys are hustled all the time too. So this is also this kind of thing that is as people get taught to take care of the girls, and they completely forget what could happen to boys. And that's why so much pedophilia is going on. That a lot of parents is like, oh no, the daughter is weak, she cannot go out, but the boy is okay, we don't care what he's doing. And also, if something happen, or they will not even notice if something gets really bad. That was also in our generation. They never talked about pedophilia. That was one of the first thing we taught. We talked to the children that something like that is around, so they have to pay attention what is really going on. The whole lying part, yeah, we get lied to all the time from people who don't realize that they lie. But everyone have his own responsibility to know if he's saying the truth or not, or just repeating bullshit. And for this also the trauma is the whole stabbing in the heart, the whole deception, the permanent deception is creating an absence. And that's the same when we say people just go with your heart, or go what your heart tells you to do. This could be the complete opposite, because many people's heart are already deceived. So anytime the heart is deceived, it have to heal, but instead of this, we get always more deception and more deception. So at the end, the heart is really rotten out, and therefore also all the living thoughts cannot be thought anymore. Yeah, it's absence of complete life. So more and more people get into their bubble or their tank or their protection, their bunker, and start to fix like their hole, with anything what they find, and it is getting more and more fragile. And so if people are just even coming close to this kind of weakness, they explode. And this is the part of trauma what creates this bubble, this protection bubble, but at the same time become the tank that is shooting and rolling over everyone. So people in panic, stress, and so on, emotional, they always think like they are the victim and everybody have to help and everybody have to do something. And therefore they start to shoot everywhere. This is what is like an animal who is squeezed in a corner. That's the same effect we get from people who are completely obsessed, possessed by the ego or trauma, and so on. And this is what creates this bubble. This is what the ego is. It is a layer of kind of protection, and therefore people are getting into confusion or even violence and divide themselves automatically without even the government have to do anything in this. So government just can suggest some directions and everyone is divided again. So this is the main purpose. The ego is what divides us from life itself. It's like take a tree out of the forest. This is where we divide. This is the tree. No, this is part of the whole forest. The tree could not be there without the whole forest. And we just see the tree. And if we do that, this is the same what we do with the kids. We just pick them out of who they really are, out of life, and create like this fake character, this fake persona, what creates the ego. And instead to be alive, we just get more and more destroyed from everything and divide. This is what the ego really is. The E of the ego is the ecclesiastic, the church that is coming into place to create this thing that through the ego. That's why people are also, as soon as they get arrogant, or they are talking from ego. They always need to press people down, walk on them, just to make their arguments, because they are already in lack of self-esteem. Yeah, they have a real deeply complex of who they really are. That's why they always have to play bigger, need a bigger car, need a bigger thing. This is what ego creates. And ego was created through fear and hope all the time, punishment and reward. This is how we get completely divided from thinking logically and responsibility. This is what takes away the responsibility, is exactly this. Is when we start to punish and reward, we just take away all the logical thinking, and children will just do to not get punished and get the reward. So no matter what, they will just follow the same program. And of course, we'll also start to behave like this is mine, because like the bubble, the cola bottle that is falling from the plane in this movie that we have already shown many times. And this is also how we start to behave, like what we get, we will bring forward to others. And this is also this is exactly the same what happened when they get adult. Yeah, they talk exactly the same. So if a child is like this, then also because he get it, the same for all what we get around in our environment, we will of course adapt. And make the best out of it. And this is the same house, this whole school thing to correct and give notes. We just learn the children to lie. Yeah, this is how they start to get twisted, because they don't want to get punished, because they have bad notes in school. So all what they will do is start to cheat, lie. Yeah, this is the same. If children always get punished for the bullshit they are doing, they will not learn out of it. They cannot analyze why they did it. Yeah, this always also is coming from another frustration that is coming from somewhere. But finally, the school is frustrating. All the indoctrination is all frustrating, and this is when parents choose to make authoritarian education, then they can't see or admit that something in the system, what is going on, will harm the child, like what is going on actually. They will not. They will just submit and not see that the child is not going good. So it's the problem is always the child, of course. Yeah. But this is exactly how we get indoctrinated to become someone. So we have to choose a kind of character, even to become something. This is also the insult you can just make to every child to destroy it from basics. Just ask him what you want to become when you are big. Yeah, instead, like what you're inspired to do. And therefore, also our choices get completely manipulated. And we ask a lot of people, do you recognize the manipulated thoughts? Because if we don't recognize the patterns of the manipulated thoughts, how can we even think for ourselves? Yeah, this will not work at all. So all the time we come into the choice of if we want to go with life or if we want to go with the ego. Or if we want to go with life and if we want to go with the system, that's the same thing. And then there are some people who say, yeah, but we have to choose the middle way. Yeah, this is the kind of sleeping pill. It's like to accept the shit. It's just like a little bit of shit and a little bit of good. So a little bit of dead and a little bit of good. But a rotten apple will always rot. So why not cut the rotten part and compost it? Yeah, this is what we should do today. It's just thinking about how to compost this whole thing, instead to try to mix them up, to have a little bit of ego. A little bit of ego will always destroy life, or a little bit of system will always destroy life. And this is exactly what is going on. They all want to destroy everything from ego and life, burn everything down, that maybe we can start over again, but this of course will not be possible. So from there on, they get rewarded. From more they study, more they get rewarded, more the ego is fed, more intelligence or life get lost. Yeah, so more and more the ego is fed, more and more they are ready to stamp on even dead people to get to their point or their goal. And of course they will get all their rewards and ego awards. And this is the whole system is working. Yeah, the ones who are on the top, we think they are here, but they are also driven by the same thing. So it's just like all the time the punishment and the reward. That's the same deal for all the politicians, for all the, and mostly they just get rewarded by ego. And ego stands overall. This is also the whole humanism. Yeah, humanism is to put the human in the center of everything. And of course, if we would live, then we have to recognize that we are one part of the whole, and find again the purpose, to remember the purpose of life in itself. For this, we just can question everything that is not. So ego will always stamp on everything and influence our going, yeah. And there is no enough air in the room if there is someone with the ego. That's the same in any community, in every chat room. If somebody comes with the ego, then it's just not enough air for anyone to breathe, and ego will always burn out the whole air to breathe. So this is also for the whole reward and punishment that is already taught since child, like even through fairy tales. Yeah, you knows the Frau Holle. Oh, the same stuff in Alice in Wonderland. To teach women to become the good kitchen slave, yeah, and this is exactly how through even stories and so on, they just perverted the whole position of everyone, the same as they are doing since little. For everyone have, and he have also his salary, and she have the security, and everyone have his own thing that is always given further on. So this is the whole trauma will just be passed on others, and there's like in violence, like in everything, violence, lies, harm. There's no limit. So you will get it, and then you will beat the shit out of your own kids. If you don't recognize the harm that you already have on your own back. So this is the ego part. And now we're coming to the curse part, because we mentioned a lot this curse, and a lot of people just imagining some voodoo or some only black magical rituals down in a cave. But the curse, in fact, is the harm that is passed on, and the burden on our shoulder that we will just give on further on. So if she is angry with her child, it's because her mother was already angry on her child and allowed this to happen. So instead to question this situation, we just go on further, and the harm that is coming on her, she will have the whole burden or the curse on her shoulder. So it's not about the fantasy magic of fantasy story we are talking about. We are talking about the real harm that is passed on from generation to generation. That's the same when we are in front of a judge. He is just in his illusion and the curse that he is making, but he is the real magician. We have also the same clothing as a magician, but he is passing on the curse and even imposing that we are feeling guilty about the curse that we have done, instead to comprehend the harm that we did and take full responsibility and fix the shit, yeah. But we are not allowed to fix the things. The system doesn't want us to fix the things and comprehend and learn. We have to be in permanent submission. And this whole system is based on this magic of the curse. And the curse is black magic, but not the Hollywood black magic or the fantasized black magic, satanic bullshit they are trying to make with Lucifer, Netflix, and so on. This is the real deception that is going on. And the magical books are mostly the holy scripts. Everything is twisted. So if you look in the magical books, grimoire means grimoire from grammar is black magic. The grammarian is the magician. the judge, the monks, and so on. This is where the whole curse is coming from, like from emotion, ego, and so on. And we can feel the curse when we get stuff from authority. When they want bills and so on, we take that curse, but it's just written on the paper, and mostly we don't even know what is written there. We have to ask a lawyer or someone who know the law, that he can translate. That's quite strange also, yeah, because everyone is supposed to know the law. After the constitution, every land you live, you have to know the law. What is the law? This is not law. This is commercial. So, but we can feel the curse, we can feel the harm only through having something in the letterbox. And of course, through whole symbolism, a lot of people, they don't pay any attention on it because they are so used to. Once, same here, we was aware of a lot of symbolism, but we didn't saw everything. So once we get aware of that, and this is exactly how they want to deceive us permanently on TV, on logos, on what kind of symbols, or everything what they use is to try to use this whole gematria. The ones who get caught up in gematria or in Kabbalah or in this esoteric universe and so on. This is all part of this curse. And all this, they play all the same, exactly the same witchcraft, yeah, like the voodoo or the sorcerers are doing. It's also when we curse words, yeah, or when we curse someone, this is already the harm that is produced. Many people just think it is just really like nothing, but it is exactly like this black color on us, sticky color, yeah, and put on some feeder so everyone knows. But this is not anymore the thing. It's not visible anymore. Yeah, the curse is not visible. We just can see it of deceived people, angry people, hateful people, or deceived people when they completely get possessed. It's the same thing, reward or punishment. And that's also when children hear the parents having arguments and get divided. This is what the child divides himself, because he is the product of their supposed life. And if these parents are seen like gods for parents, and therefore, if they get divided, then of course the heart gets split in half. And this is also what if it happened. I mean, we had separation, and we just really, our main preoccupation was what happened with the children. Yeah, what can we bring to the children that they don't get that they can comprehend why it is maybe better of the separation than staying to stick together and creating more harm. This is, of course, not how it's supposed to be, but when it happened, then we also have to make the whole work that the children is not holding this division on their heart, because when they get grown up, they will just be very deceived. They will just start being very angry, and if they get violence, they will not be able to argue, but just start to hit again. So the curse is really not only like the bad luck. This doesn't exist. What we give to life, life will always give us back So this is what the curse really means. It means the harm that we are already holding on our shoulder. We always, life will process it on us. So we will have bad luck, we will have accidents, we will have fall down the stairs, cut in our finger, and so on. And this is what is really going on. This is not just some fantasy Hollywood stories. Every harm is a curse, and we have to process it. Someone have to process it, and because we are not feeling well when we are in harm, we will try to implicate someone else. We will always try in the ego to give this harm further, and that's why this is coming to the whole demonic possession, because the ego is a demon. The ego is this the only demon that really exists. And this is what makes people, when they get obsessed in their arguments, in their maybe they have fear of losing someone or something, is the whole holding on. But it is complete black magic mixed of the curse and the ego defense system. And the curse is when someone is holding on the illusion without letting them go. This is what is possessed, even if this is what children get learned, to be possessed. I want to possess this, I want this, I have my truck, I have my car, I have my bed, I have my birthday, I have my, me, and this is what creates the whole possession in itself. And this only comes on the table when this attachment is confronted. And from this to become this, you can see that very early, even in the child, when they really get the black eyes. Yeah, this is something also if people get angry. We know how this is. I mean, this is what the demonic possession of ego and traumatism makes. That's the same possession, the attachments, and this is also how people, the demonic possession they have is the attachment in itself. So the stuff is not us, but we are the slave of our stuff. And more we have to defend, more we have to take risk, more we have to get angry, and more we will become enslaved ourselves in our own thing and defend it with any kind of possibilities we will have. This is exactly how the same thing is always repeated in the same thing. And this is what the real demonic possession is. This is always, if we think, it is not only on material, it is definitely on thoughts first, because material without mental attachment doesn't work. And therefore, we become the army of our, and the murder of our own life. Therefore, through our own demonic possession. But of course, we will always try to shoot to first on others, instead to get something out of it. This is what people think. They have to arc and find the middle way again, like to put a little bit of shit and a bit of clean water. It will never give clean water again. So this is what also in couples, they have a lot of this demonic possession or this attachment possession, the defending of the arguments and who is right and so on. But this is black magic voodoo, not different from what we really know as voodoo. Yeah. Same as the whole frenzy that is around superstars and fans and so on. This is part of this whole MK Ultra, and everything is used, of course, through all the symbolism. As QAnon, exactly the same thing, and people will get their mantras the whole life. Possession can happen in different ways, but this is of course a complete lack of something, whatever it is. Also, people who get completely obsessed with cleanness, everything have to be clean. This is also kind of obsession. Stalking, that's like attachment on some people. They can't let them go, and get really sick, or have the complete attachment to the government to just not even breathe anymore. And this is the ego, the whole thing is what creates that character where we have to hold a mask. And this is what all the narcissism and psychopathic, ego-driven, selfishly things are doing. So it is a holding on our own mental slavery. And anytime someone comes near to this bubble, he will just get maximum destroyed as it could. And this is the same of course, a lot of people, when they talk about demonic possession, they will ask what is going on with all this exorcism. And well, if you watch closely, this is where let's say where when they do this kind of exorcism, as the Pope have done, how fake or real this whole thing is always. This is of course this kind of stuff is more subject to fakery, but definitely they are not this kind of things. Also, this is also fantasy. But what we think is really when they take out the whole life, when they really destroy someone, and that's why where they get really possessed and so on, and when they get relieved, it's like they're maybe complete dead, killed. So there are different triggers that is coming on, that people really get completely obsessed to take out their guns again, and this to make them bomb everything what is, to search another painkiller. So emotion, ego, obsession, possession, attachment, destruction. This is the whole demonic possession that divides us from the whole life in itself, through trauma-based mind control, to control what we think, what we feel, what we do, what we eat, what we say, and to just kill all the life around. So finally, as life itself, no matter what, we have to attach ourselves to life, not to anything else. And also, this attachment can't be obsessional. Never. No way. So to make a little summary, the ego is not who we are, no matter what. A lot of philosophers say that you have a good ego. You can make ego management. This is the whole Freemasonic, Kabbalistic bullshit, when they pretend that you just can manage your ego. This is impossible. You can't control the ego. The ego will always control. That's, of course, the thing. And there is not good or bad ego. Who would draw the line? What would be good and what would be bad? The whole self, I am, we are one. This is the whole ego masturbating. Ego is the demonic possession, of the deception. So this all goes in one. The curse is when we are wearing and processing the burden of the deception. Demonic possession is when someone is holding on their conditioning and their illusion, what was created to MK Ultra, human control, social engineering, permanent conditioning, from education to study to religion, science, politics, money, and everything what comes from the Babylonian life-destroying system. So all what we can do is to recognize all this shit, look out when, where, why it comes into our presence and into our life. Refuse it and never let it come back again. We have to let go the burden of the past. We can't just turn around in the shit wheel all the time, the hamster wheel, over and over again. It's up to us to take full responsibility. Thanks for watching.